Okay, thank you. Thank you for the introductions. My name is Young-Kyo Rim from LG Electronics, and I'm joined with my colleague Sang Hyun-bi, is a software architect of our team. So today we are pleased to share our presentation titled Intercommunication Process Design and Configuration at the AUTOSA Adaptive. So it will be a little bit similar to previous slide in some part, but we have some different approach. So let's start with the agenda first, and I will give a short introduction of the AUTOSA Adaptive because someone does not familiar with AUTOSA Adaptive itself. So I will give a short introduction about adaptive platform itself, and then I will address our motivation to today's presentation regarding the IPC issue in AUTOSA Adaptive platform. What is the main bottleneck, and what is our motivation to study of this issue, and then this topic consists of two parts. One part is regarding related ARACOM IPC to enable zero copy communication. So to previously BMW mentioned of the shared memory based ARACOM IPC, we also have presented similar technology based on open source. And the later time, Sang Hyun-bi will be address the IFC is interfunctional cluster. It means the mainly used AUTOSA world is adaptive is consists of a functional cluster to communicate which either IFC, IPC is required. So we propose our own IPC mechanism adapting the interfunctional cluster communication. Sang Hyun-bi will be addressed then. Then together we have a conclusion. So let's start with the AUTOSA Adaptive. So many people knows already about AUTOSA Adaptive, so I don't say in detail. But one thing I to say is AUTOSA Adaptive is a new standard in contrast to the classic platform. It will address a new automotive use cases. As you may already familiar with the case. It's a connected, autonomous, and shared mobility environment. We also agreed the AUTOSA Adaptive is kind of the solution for the new case environment. This kind of new case environment will be drive some ENE architecture. Oh, sorry. Oh, back. Sorry. So in some ENE architecture changes in the already mentioned in the morning session. So the ENE architecture will evolve to zonal architecture. So adaptive is one of the key enabling technology for such ENE architecture changes. So, and the adaptive platform itself is also some kind of software platform, step framework instead of the operating system, because it does not include as some OS itself is relies on POSIX profile, PSE 51 profile. So it will be addressed in next time. So the API set of adaptive platform is we call it ARA. So everybody knows about is the API interface used by application. So the main and the other part is communication interface is adaptive platform. Adapter ARACOM is the main communication middleware interfaces. Okay, so next. So this slide we can to point out our motivation to presentation. So IPCs in the AUTOSA Adaptive context. So as you see in the picture, so it's some simplified version of AUTOSA Adaptive platform. So to deploy point of view, there is several kind of IPCs required. We are colored in different color. So the one is the ARACOM IPC is mainly used to adaptive application because the adaptive platform only limited to use PSE 51 profiles. It does not allow the IPC communication. So only ARACOM is enabling to adaptive application communication. The second thing is IFC, IPC already mentioned. So IFC is interfunctional cluster. adaptive platform is consists of several functional clusters. Functional clusters can communicate with each other inside or each other. So we grouped this communication pattern with IFC, IPC. So the last one is not related in AUTOSAR adaptive itself, but for deployment point of view, some additional communication pattern is required. It's called some proprietary IPC, because non-AUTOSAR adaptive application is maybe sometimes required to communicate with each other. So we call it, it's a proprietary IPC. It depends on the vendor's choice. So in AUTOSAR adaptive development point of view, 3 IPC is a key point to enabling the AUTOSAR adaptive platform to the market. So I will explain in detail about. So as I mentioned the previous slide, so we are focusing on 3 IPC mechanism is ARACOM and 2 IFC is mentioned in these 3 bullets. So ARACOM IPC is sometimes called is machine local IPC, or sometimes called naming is something different. Some we call sometimes ARACOM IPC. Some in the AUTOSAR specification says machine local IPC. So anyway, it is explicit communication interface between adaptive applications. So it's a very important and crucial point for adaptive application developer. But to possibly it can use ARACOM specification, but the implementation detail is very vendor specific. It does not specify what kind of IPC mechanism. Specification is must be used to both communicate. Just to mention about the IPC itself in the specification. So the vendor dependent means some performance, latency, memory size, something related. Many kind of things are very different for each vendor. So we also address this issue in the later time. And the IFC is not standard scope. It's in the vendor's implementation part. So because how to implement the functional cluster is dependent on each vendor. So, but functional cluster is typically implemented as single or multiple processes. So if we implemented as a multiple process, it need to be communicated inside each other. So we call it intra-functional cluster IPC. And some in the communicate with each functional cluster itself is interfunctional cluster IPC. So 2 kind of IPC is required for AUTOSAR stack implementation. So we just renaming it IFC, interfunctional cluster IPC, intra-functional cluster IPC. Sometimes call it inside the functional cluster IPC or whatever name. So it is communication inside the functional cluster. So anyway, these 2 application, 2 IPC also relies on the specification, but intra-functional is not is out of standard. It's only the implementation part. So next, so I will address one of the mentioned IPC mechanism is zero copy IPC. So I think so this issue is already addressed in the previous BMW slide. So it's kind of similar. So same thing as the BMW's approach. We also think about zero copies. Is why we think about that is typically is use cases, ADAS AD use cases. As you know, ADAS AD means large size of data transfer. So we are benchmarked said in our platform. So you see the graph, if payload size increase, the latency is increased too much steeply. So it's legacy IPC mechanism is more Unix domain socket or message queue is widely used in Linux system. So the latency is not adequate for the large data transfer use cases. So and sometimes we call some IP, some legacy, some IP protocol to use the ARACOM IPC, but that also shows some similar pattern with the legacy IPC mechanism. It shows also performance degradation in the some large size data packet. So we conclude there is some issue in the ARACOM IPC. So latency is a key important factor, as I mentioned previously. So this slide may know same as previous thing. So anyway, legacy IPC is requires some data copy through the kernel side. So data can be copied several times to retrieve the receiver side. In contrast, the zero copy IPC has no memory copy operation happened, so it does not incur the latency. So we are choosing some zero copy IPC mechanism in ARACOM communication. So, but there are many kind of approaches to implement this shared memory-based IPC, but we are choosing Eclipse Isolix. Is very popular in the Eclipse community and used to many industry domains. So we also adapt the open source Eclipse Isolix to enable zero copy IPC communication. So what is Isolix? Isolix is open source, is developed by the Eclipse community. So it's very, shared memory itself very old style and very known in the industry domain, but automotive domain, zero shared memory is not popular because no such use cases derived in the automotive domain. But nowadays, as mentioned earlier, ADAS AD use case require huge memory, so IPC may automotive domain also requires some zero copy IPC solution. Isolix also is some adequate one, so it can be. It is the main published subscriber communication supported. So it means it is adequate for service-oriented communication. So it also, and the request response architecture is also supported. And as you see, zero copy is very fast and flexible. So it's kind of memory is to control one daemon. So daemon is controlled memory, shared memory, so the application only needed the pointer. So data, there is no need of copy operation happened. So all those things is managed by daemon. So this platform is supported in the Linux and QNX methods. So you can see more detail on the Eclipse Isolix home pages. Now, so explain our approaches. So it's very straightforward to our approaches. So we add Isolix middleware in another IPC binding. So as you see, ARACOM already specified the 3 IPCs. Local IPC is some property, so we add Isolix middleware in this part. So we developed another Isolix binding for local IPC communication. So the high-level diagram is very easy. So we already ARACOM API and libraries exist. We add some and modify the existing libraries to support the Isolix binding. So it means we built new binding, ARACOM binding to support the Isolix middleware transport. So I would like to explain the component design. So it's a UML diagram, so very familiar with every developer. So and it's very, it consists of the library ARA and the service software component and the client software component. Each block has some main role. So you can see service software component is kind of a provider, receiver side, and the client means some consumer. So its role as a consumer software component is the main part is to libARA Isolix binding. So software component will use this Isolix binding code. This Isolix binding code will communicated with the daemon is ARA, we call it ARA ISORIX binding. It is a daemon-based service software component and the client software component service. So it allows the communication both in client server. So this is a key part of our design. So next slide. So in addition to the top-level component, we also need some modification of a generator. Generator part is also based on the RTOP, Eclipse RTOP platform. So we utilize the RTOP platform and add on some support to the code generation tool for local IPC binding. So it is not only used for ISORIX binding, so it is used to our SUMIP and DDS binding as well. So its design is very straightforward. So it consists of two parts: is ARACOM generation tool and the generated tool platform. So it's mainly as mentioned, is RTOP platform and the Eclipse platform. So togetherly, so based on two open source platform, we add on some our own components, ARACOM generation tool part and generation tool framework part. It is to easily configure the ARXML and the generated software code based on ARXML. So based on the design, we simply benchmark the application. So the first is very simple. So we can utilize existing radar fusion applications and add on the IPC daemon to Rowdy. So just communicate over round trip latency is radar applications, send the event data fusion application and send the same day back to radar application. We measure the round trip latency is 100 times. So benchmark result. So it's some illustrative. The data will be different on the CPU performance and what kind of OS we will use. So just illustrative way. So the average latency is almost constant time. And we measure the other event method field cases, so the latency variation is very small. So it can show our implementation is good enough to support zero copy latency. And we also compare with the SUMIP. As mentioned in the introduction, SUMIP can be also used the IPC mechanism, but in that case, SUMIP is mostly used to transport protocol in the OTOSA world. So we initially thought about SUMIP can be used for local IPC communication, but it also has some issues in large data size. But we are using the zero copy IPC, it shows the latency is constant. So conclusion is zero copy IPC binding showed is linear latency even though payload size increased. So next time I will hand over to my colleague Sang-Hyun Lee. He will explain about the new IFC mechanism. So I mentioned the introduction. We cover all the IPC mechanism required the adaptive platform deployment. I am explaining the ARACOM IPC, zero copy IPC, and the Sang-Hyun Lee will be address our own new IPC middleware, ULIPC we are call it. So he will explain in more detail. Thank you.
Okay, hello, I'm Sang-Hyun Lee. I'm happy to get the opportunity on my IPC middleware design on today. The IPC name is Unified Lightweight IPC, aka ULIPC. Before developing the ULIPC, our platform IPC has too many fragmentation in functional cluster communication. So on today, I will introduce my design and configuration. First one is motivation. As you know, Aracom is most powerful communication stack in Autosar adaptive. In issue communication, inter-issue communication, maybe CloudWood. And multi-binding IPC transport, some IP and DDS and 2IP binding. But we found some use cases that applying Aracom is not suitable in interfunctional communication. There is some issues on performance and stability and circular reference occur. First use case is system IPC. System IPC means used for system management in Autosar adaptive. Execution manager IPC and platform manager IPC and state manager IPC. There is some characteristic about the system IPC, very small size packet and periodically communicate each other. So in this case, we think Aracom header packet size and service discovery can be overhead. And the other point is about the stability. Aracom used some IPC with daemon. For example, some IP. Some IP consists of some IP daemon and some IP library. You can imagine if some IP daemon crashed or damaged, it will be occur all system IPs frozen. Execution manager does not receive state from application or functional cluster, and platform health manager doesn't receive heartbeat or checkpoint from functional cluster. And then system repeatedly reset the process. I think this is serious problem in stability. Next use case is some functional cluster communication to provide functionality to Aracom. For example, functional cluster crypto provides secure object to Aracom, and IAM provides access permission checking logic to Aracom. Applying the Aracom, this FCS IPs circular reference circle, as you imagine, crypto used by Aracom and Aracom used by crypto. We think it is inefficient. And the other motivation is, how can we apply optimal IPC in IFC communication? As you know, IPC performance varies by operating system. On our experience, best performing IPC is message queue on Linux and message passing on QNX. Ease to IPC changing is very important factor to support multi-OS and multi-hardware. So we decided to multi-IPC binding in our IPC middleware. So we approach the ULIPC characteristic. There is 4 kinds of characteristics. First one is doesn't have any process dependence and lightweight for performance and multi-OS support. Last one is security. As you see in last right of this slide, ULIP is designed to replace legacy IPC and has layered architecture. And inside of ULIP, there is 3 layers: node, secure communication, and transport. We designed 3 layers independent other layers changes and allocate some features and characteristics inside of the layer. The node layer's responsibility is IPC pattern implementation, and secure communication responsibility is security, and last one is abstract IPC library. The node layer implements functional clusters based basic IPC pattern without some daemon. You can see the right of this slide. We implement basic IPC pattern, request reply, and push pull, and pops up. And node URIPC communicated with directly. It can be some bus or daemon crash it, prevent system frozen. And next layer is secure communication. There is two kinds of security feature in our IPC middleware. First one is using in-house TLS, and second one is application hash-based handshake. We adopt in-house TLS in our IPC middleware. We are consider using open source TLS, but there is some license problem, and integration cost is bigger than implement in-house TLS. However, implements all the features and Cypher suite of TLS is very difficult and huge work. So we set a limitation of implements in-house TLS to limitation of boundary to only PSK-based handshake. The other security mechanism, application hash-based handshake. Application hash-based handshake means URIPC initialized the URIPC automatically generated the hash value on process. And then URIPC used the hash value to crypto object FC crypto's instance specifier. That means some application tempered hash value changed between original hash value, and the tempered process cannot import PSK from Aracrypto. That is not a master key of IPC communication security, but I hope it can be more secure our platform. Last one is transport layer. Transport layer is building time, support the building time IPC binding when, IPC binding and minimize human change. And on now, our IPC middleware support three kinds of IPC transport. First one is open source middleware 0MQ, and the other one is POSIX TCP. Last one is OS specific IPC QNX message passing. Summarize to using benefit of URIPC. First one is easy to implement IPC pattern and prevent IPC fragmentation, and minimize effort due to IPC transport change. And last one is provide this secure connection to all supported IPC. Okay.
Yeah. So sorry for over time. So as conclusion, see, it's very straightforward. So one thing I would say, we already introduced the IPC mechanism in the successfully included our LG AutoSAR adaptive platform. We call it RARA, so for SO project. So we are verified is our approach could be attractive to SOP project. So we will be extend our study in the more. So you can see this one. So thank you very much.